7 Seas licenses, live with an ordinary guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout, homunculus manga. The Night Became Captain is a new princess to be. Soara in the House of Monsters, Cat of the Heroes La Manga also license. 7 Seas Entertainment announced on Wednesday that he has licensed the Live with an Ordinary Guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout homunculus. The Night Captain is the new princess to be. Soara in the House of Monsters, and Cat on the Heroes La Manga. 7 Seas republished the first volume of Yu Sorosaki and Shin Ikisawa's Live with an Ordinary Guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout digitally and in print in September. 7 Seas describes the manga. Hinata Tachibana and Tsukasa Jinjoji are two young men who have been friends since childhood. After the disaster of a singles mixer, they're sent flying into another world by a mysterious being, and now Tachibana is a beautiful blonde girl. When Jinjoji angrily demands that they be returned home and go back to normal, they get cursed, and the only way out is for them to go on a quest to defeat the Demon King. But now, the true friends can't stop thinking about how hot the other is. What they have said the world became before their lifelong romance becomes a romance. 7 Seas will publish Hideo Yamamoto's Homunculus manga in omnibus volumes, containing 2 volumes worth of material with each release. The first omnibus volume was shipped in June. 7 Seas described the manga. Susumu Nakoshi, age 34, is living out of his car, between spending his days with the homeless and his night in his vehicle. He has little to his name, but no, not so little that he agreed to be the subject of a scientific experiment. An honorary medical student is stalking him and offered to pay Nakoshi a significant sum to test trepanation, the ability to draw out a sixth sense by drilling into the skull. Nakoshi refuses. When Nakoshi's beloved car is towed, he finally agrees to cash in the operating table. At first, the experiment seems to bear no fruit, and Nakoshi's life is unchanged. That is, until Nakoshi realizes vision has wrapped in his left eye, showing him the twisted homunculus inside every human. 7 Seas republished the first volume of Yasuko Yamaru's The Night Captain is the New Princess to Be manga, both digitally and in print in August. 7 Seas describes the manga. Christina, aka Lady Chris, was born into a noble family and treated more or less like a boy growing up. Now a young woman, she's not only captain of the Imperial Guards, she personally protects Prince Leonardo, who has been a dear friend since childhood. When Leo's father, the king, demands that Leo find a suitable girl to marry, he says that he's already found one, Chris. Chris is shocked, but figures that Leo doesn't really love her like that. It's probably just some ploy to keep his father happy. She decides to play along, but as the charade goes on, she starts to wonder if maybe her princely pal does see her as more than a friend. 7 Seas republished the first volume of Hidenori Yamagi's Soara and the House of Monsters manga, both digitally and in print in October. 7 Seas describes the manga. Soara is a young orphan girl who was raised by knights and trained to battle the monsters that constantly attack their kingdom. But by the time Soara is ready to join the fight herself, peace has been declared and her blade is no longer needed. Searching for a new home and a new purpose, Soara resembles across Creek the Dwarf, leader of the monster architects. Suddenly, instead of fighting monsters, Soara finds herself working with Kirk to build comfortable homes for them. In the process, will she discover a new home and family for herself? 7 Seas will publish the first volume of Kosugi Ijima and Shiori's Cat in the Heroes Lab manga, digitally and in print in November. 7 Seas describes the manga next November. 7 Seas describes the manga. The hero Lido and his companions have a mission: defeat the Demon Lord once and for all. Aina is a formidable fighter, taking down foes with only her fists and feet. Grace the wizard harnesses powerful magic to blast away enemies and their path. Meanwhile, Leto faces an unexpected challenge and their quest. A big, fluffy cat has taken a liking to him, following the party wherever they go, and jumping into Leto's lap whenever it's free, even in the heat of battle. Everyone knows you can't just dump a cat off your lap in good conscience. If Leto pushes his sweet kitty away while it's happily making biscuits, will he be any better than the monsters he's trying to fight? A sword and sorcery story for fans of cats and comedy.